I am live on YouTube for the very first time. Welcome in, everybody. I'm just going to step up and turn that light off because that one is glowing in the background. Got a little bit of light behind me coming from that other lamp. This is totally new in a totally new environment and totally new situation. I'm turning on the chat function. I'm going to say, hello all. The chat function works. All right, I'm learning here. This is totally new, so please bear with me. If you are here, please chime in and chat. Let me know. Let's use that chat function. We also have the super chat function, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I do want to share quality content, which, hey, why get on here live if I'm not going to share quality content? But long story short, I have never been live on YouTube. I'm missing out on this opportunity. I get so much feedback about the positive things people feel and see and think about my YouTube content. So I'm thinking, why don't I use this piece of the YouTube system and this piece of the YouTube's capabilities? So here we are. You can chat. I can see the chats. I can comment back to you on the chats. You can super chat. Super chat is a function where you pay, you offer up, you donate, you contribute an amount of money that pins your chat at the top. Not only do I see it, and of course I'm committed to responding to people who support the community and support what we're doing here, because it does take a little bit of money to get these things to happen. It takes time, it takes tools, it takes all kinds of good things. So any donations or contributions by way of super chat are very much appreciated. Al, good to see you here. Al Reed, good friend of mine. I'm going to be at a show with him in Chattanooga, Tennessee down the road just a little bit. I know Al is the YouTube barber. He is a mentor. He is an inspiration to many. He's the holy grail of putting stuff up on YouTube. My God, this guy is. So I can learn from him, and I'm thrilled to have him here kind of checking out what's going on. But here's the deal. I'm going to be doing this more. These will live on. I guess you can go back and watch them later on replay. I'll also put the URLs up in my other social profiles and places for other people to see them. But I've been reading a book, and I'm going to jump over and grab the book. I've been reading a book, and if you follow me on Insta, you saw me talking about this book. This is Marketing by Seth Godin. If you've paid attention to me for years, you know I talk about Seth Godin. I refer to him as probably the best marketing and business writer of the last 20 years. I don't know how many he's been writing, but I feel like I've been reading him for a long time, so I'll just say 20. I posted the cover of the book. I commented on it. It's got some really, really powerful insights in it that I have found valuable as I think about what's going on in my business. So if it's valuable to me, I hope it'll be valuable to you. And he brings up the idea in here in terms of marketing, of the idea that marketing, advertising, and promotion for so long in America has been about advertising to everybody. Post-war years, the baby boom generation, the greatest generation, they were trying to sell washing machines and cars and Coca-Cola to everyone. And that's great. It's expensive. It worked in a different time, but let's face it, and we're going to get into some numbers here. 320 plus million people in America. You can't cut them all. You wouldn't want to try to cut them all. You don't want to cut them all once and never cut them again. So why do you really want to market to all of them? The answer is you don't. You really want to narrow your focus, narrow your conversation, and you want to target. So it brings up the question of, if you need customers, we all need customers, and you don't need all the customers, all 328 million in America, how many do you need? How many customers do you need to be busy, to be full, and we'll talk about defining full, and to earn the kind of income that you're targeting? How many customers do you need? So we're going to answer that question tonight. I posted it on Instagram earlier in the week. I think late last week I said, hey, how many customers do you need? And I said, I'm going to talk about it in a video. Well, here we are. We're going to talk about it. So let's break it down. You're one person. Talking about your chair. If you're an owner with multiple chairs, you can extrapolate this math out in a big way to much bigger numbers, but let's focus. Let's focus on you and let's focus on your business. So if you can do 2 haircuts an hour, and I like to talk about the goal of 3, but let's focus on 2 because 2 is attainable for newer, younger, less experienced people. 2 is attainable for so much of our industry. Again, I'm learning here. I'm messing with the positioning on the cameras. You can see I am not in my usual studio. I'm actually in a hotel room. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia for a show the next couple of days. So not my typical setting, but 2 haircuts an hour, 8 hours a day is 16 haircuts in a day. And if you're watching at home, if you've got a piece of paper, take some notes, write some things down and follow along with me. 2 haircuts an hour, 8 hours a day is 16 haircuts a day. 5 days a week times 16 haircuts is 80 haircuts in a week. Now, we're going to work with an average of a 5-week client cycle. Now, some of you cut a lot of very short, tapered hair. You might have 2-week customers. Some of you cut long hair. You might have 8-week customers. I'm going to ping 9 as our 5 as our average. 5. So 80 haircuts a week times 5 weeks is 400 haircuts. 400 haircuts is 100% capacity. You with me on the numbers so far? I want to make this too tricky. I don't have my whiteboard, so you've got to be writing on your own notes. 400 haircuts. Now, we've always said you don't want to be full. You want to have time to sweep and time to go to the bathroom and time to return phone calls and time to go to lunch and time for add-on sales and time for talking take-home hair care product and time for asking for referrals and time for rebooking. So you don't want to be full. You want to be 80%. So we're going to take that 400 number and we're going to multiply it by 0.80, 80% of 400, and the number we get is 320. 2 haircuts an hour, full on a 5-week client cycle, 8-hour days, 5 days a week, is 320 customers. So you don't need everybody in America. You need 320 customers. You know, people come up to me at classes and they say, Ivan, you don't understand. I come from a small town. And other people come up to me at class and say, Ivan, you don't understand. I'm in Manhattan in New York City. Ivan understands. And Ivan knows no matter where you are, 320 people is a very realistic number. Let's talk about that number because I did a little Googling in preparation for this video. I did a little poking around to learn a little bit about numbers in America. 320 clients is what you need to be full, busy, and productive. That is a clientele, 320. Now think about that. To put that in perspective, that is about the number of people that can sit in a high school gymnasium at a junior high gymnasium for a band concert. That's not a lot of people. That's just about every community can put 320. You get grandma and grandpa, you get mom and dad, you get the siblings, you get a couple of teachers, you get a couple of graduates that came back to listen to the band. Before you know it, you got 320 people in a gym. That's a clientele. Look at the gym. You got to cut them all. Not that hard to do. Now, you're not going to cut everybody at a junior high, but the town's bigger than that, no matter where you come from. Now, let's look at some numbers. There's 320 million people in America, give or take. It's really 328, but we're going to round it down to 320 because the math is amazing. If there are 320 million people in America and you need 320 people to be full, you literally need to cut 1 in a million. You need to cut 1 of every million people in this country. When you scale it like that, how hard can this be? How tough is this out there? Now, I took this information, and it's interesting. It was so interesting to me the way this works out. I Googled the question, what is the average city in America? You know that information is on Google. And the answer was the average city in America is Lynchburg, Virginia. Now, I've never been to Lynchburg, Virginia, but apparently Lynchburg, Virginia is as close to average in America as you can get. It's average in size, it's average in demographic mix, it's average in every way, including population. Do you know how many people live in Lynchburg, Virginia? Kind of funny the way the numbers work. 320,000. 320,000 people live in Lynchburg, Virginia. That means if you need 320 people to be busy, if you live in Lynchburg, Virginia, scale it down now. You need 1 out of every million people in America. You need 1 out of every 1,000 people in Lynchburg, Virginia to be your client. So if you're listening to me or watching this in and around Lynchburg, Virginia, if you know where that is or you know where it's been, or go online, go on Google and Google the population of your town, and you will discover how many people are in your town or your greater metropolitan area. I'm from Chicago. I believe our greater metropolitan area is about 9 million people, a little smaller though. We've been losing a little population to warmer places in the world. By the way, it snowed today on April 27th in Chicago. I wasn't there to see it or experience it or enjoy it, which is a good thing. But here's my point. 320,000 is average in America. You need to cut 1 out of 1,000. What that means is, think of it this way, Lynchburg, Virginia is capable of supporting 1,000 hairstylists. Now, I went online and I tried to Google the number of salons in Lynchburg, Virginia. I wasn't able to find that statistic. I didn't have the time this evening to go after it. But I got to tell you, there is no way there are 1,000 haircutters in Lynchburg, Virginia. But there's 320,000 people in that town. What that means is, using Lynchburg, Virginia, the average place in America, there's enough hair for everybody. There's more than enough hair for everybody, and you need to cut 1 out of 1,000. Within your geography, within your demography, if that's a word, within your cultural groupings in your life, your school, your community, your kids' school or community, your church, synagogue, or mosque, or whatever group, your gym that you go to, the grocery store where you shop. Within these groups and all these circles overlap in so many different ways, you need 1 out of 1,000 in your community to be full. Now, I did go online, I did look up, and I did Google how many haircutters are there in America. And there aren't hard statistics. What I found is there's slightly over 1 million haircutters in America, and there's 2 million when they factor in expired licenses and people not working. But bottom line, call it 1 million. Back to the number, 320 million people in America. And if there are 1 million haircutters in America, barber and cos combined, actively working, not retirees, not little old lady part-timers doing 3 of their old friends with rollers somewhere, but real legitimate, active pursuing haircutters in America, it works out perfect. The math just works. 1 million haircutters, 320 million people. There's 320 people for everybody. Oh my God. Isn't that should be inspirational? That should be exciting. Rasheen says, hey, Ivan. I say, hey, Ivan back. So the answer to the question, how many do you really need? We've demonstrated you need 320. We've also shown that they're out there. So where I want to kind of wrap this up and put a bow on it for our first YouTube live video is with the important idea. Once you've decided that you don't need everybody, we already decided that. And once you decided you only need 320 somebodies, because you don't need everybody, you need somebody, how tough is it going to be to target? The answer is you can target very, very, very narrow. And I use this example all the time. Back in the day, I love that expression. Back in the day when I had my shop, I loved to cut flat tops. And I was known as Clipper Guy, as you know. And my logo is my little Clipper Guy dude with the little flat top hair. By the way, I got a big haircut this week. I love to cut flat tops. And I already had an inkling that our industry is highly specialized. And I've said this before. If you are everything to everyone, you are nothing to anyone. I'll say it again. If you are everything to everyone, you are nothing to anyone. You really must specialize in our business. And I used to joke around and say, back in the day before social media, if I focused on flat tops. If I said I'm just cutting flat tops, specializing in flat tops, I'm not doing anything but flat tops, I would have been busy for about a week. I might have had that 80 group of flat tops that I cut, and I might have cut them all. And then I'd have been sitting around twiddling my thumbs, waiting for those 80 clients to grow out so I could cut them again. There wasn't enough heads. I didn't have enough reach. It's not that there wasn't enough heads. There were plenty of people in America, but I didn't have a way to reach people to communicate the message of my specialty in flat tops. Today, if I wanted to specialize in flat tops, if I wanted to do nothing but flat tops, I wanted to be the flat top king, open up Ivan's Flat Top Emporium, do flat tops and sell flat top wax and do nothing else, I could be busier than busy. I would have no trouble finding 320 people within a reasonable distance of me. Now, that doesn't mean somebody's not going to get on a plane from Bulgaria and come get a flat top. Happy to have you. And people do that. We hear stories all the time of people traveling crazy distances to visit specialized hair cutters. But back then, if somebody told me, hey, Ivan, you only need 320. If you can reach 320 and you can build 320, you got this. I might have done it back then. You can certainly do it now. Your specialty doesn't have to be flat tops. It could be anything. But if you just want to do one thing crazy good, you can be that narrow. And I even suggest that you do. I suggest that in order to be meaningful to people, and I use this example all the time. Have you ever been to the mall? Have you ever been to the mall and seen a gym shoe store? How many gym shoe stores do they have at the mall? They got a lot of gym shoe stores. Have you ever gone in a gym shoe store? In the gym shoe store, how many gym shoes, different gym shoes, are available for purchase? Different styles, colors, high top, low top, brands, whatever. There's so many. It's crazy. I don't even know how you pick. But keep in mind, with all the gym shoes at the stores and all the gym shoes available at all the stores, every minute of every day, there is somebody online on the Nike website customizing a gym shoe. I want this swoosh and I want that sole and I want this upper and I want these laces and I want this embroidered on the back, with all the choices available out there. And gym shoes is a great example. There's more gym shoes than anything else in the world. At the mall, people still want custom, special, unique, and different. And that's what they want from you. So the answer to the question, how many clients do you really need or want? You need 320. You want 320. If you can lock down 320 active customers, you can be a $100,000 hair cutter. That's the book. Y'all know about it. IvanZoot.com is the website. Available on paper. It's available on audio, and it's available in a PDF text for a Kindle or any other e-reading document. The $100,000 hair cutter program is based on the kind of information I've shared here tonight. This was my debut. This was my first attempt at a YouTube live. We got a couple people that said hello. Kathy Clark, I watched a lot of your videos. Very helpful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Al, I said hello to. Rasheen commented, said hi. Hey, we're starting right here. I'm going to endeavor to do more of these. YouTube is really what put me on the map in this business, and I need to learn how to use all of what YouTube does and all of what YouTube is, and I'm excited for that. So thank you all to everyone who tuned in to watch this live tonight. We ran about 19 minutes, 1854 as the counter says. I will put it up for repeat review, replay watching. If I can figure out how to do that, I think I'll know. And I'll look forward to doing it again. Try to bring you some quality content tonight. I will try to bring you quality content in the future. Yes, Rasheen, love to get that book. If you go online, if you buy it from Amazon, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It is available at Amazon. But if you buy it on my website or eBay, I'll autograph it for you. I'll sign it when I see your order come through. I'll be looking for that name, Rasheen Dilworth. We ship all over the world. Plenty of books. I can't obviously autograph the ones that go out of Amazon, but thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Have a great weekend. I'm going to hit the end button and go to post. And if you're just jumping on, please go back and watch it on replay. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.